You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Josh Hellbilly Deluxe Schaefer.
Today... That was not what I expected. Today we are going to be discussing Rob Zombie, specifically the Munsters, which, okay, I gotta tell you, on every level, pains me very deeply, and not because of the Munsters themselves. Not because I like the Munsters. I actually do not like the Munsters.
Yeah, I never could get into it. I was more of an Addams Family
That's
kid.
my point.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I feel like it's either you like... I mean, I know people who like both, but Addams Family had more depth to me than the Munsters.
Well, so if we look at it from the perspective of, like, why that is, just, like, analytical perspective, the Munsters is a parody of Universal's creatures.
Yes.
Frankenstein, vampire, girl, whatever. It's a family made up of them for a sitcom, which always, even though it's like it came out around the same time as Addams Family, it felt to me like an answer to the Addams Family.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Universal's going, hey, we have these characters, so we can do the Addams Family with these characters, and ha ha ha. And it actually, I think, ratings-wise, was more popular, even though it's terrible.
Was it?
Yes.
I want to be surprised. People like stupid stuff.
Yeah. But on its face, the biggest joke it had was, look at us, we're these monsters, but we're a family sitcom. Whereas with the Addams Family, because it wasn't tied to specific monsters, they could do different things with their characters. They were still playing in the same genre of sitcom family, but they're secretly like evil monsters, even though they're not evil.
Yeah.
But like, and that's what the Addams Family movies from like the mid-90s with Raul Julia, like, they actually nailed that. They're a sweet family, but they outwardly are monsters.
They're just weird.
Yeah.
Or kooky.
So there was more depth to the concept than the Munsters was ever able to produce. Mm-hmm. So I just couldn't get into the Munsters.
Yeah, and it just seemed Munsters had too much of the... we came out, in the 60s?
Yeah.
Like, it had like that weird 60s staged sitcom feel to it, which I never was a fan of.
Yeah. I mean, the early Addams Family had that same problem, but I think the concept carried it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know. I remember watching the Munsters when I was younger and I just never cared.
Never caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Addams Family, though.
Yeah. So we're finally getting a Munsters movie for all of you out there that actually like it, and I'm sorry to say, it looks terrible.
Yeah, like, I'm not the biggest Rob Zombie fan to begin with. Like, his music was okay. I like Rob Zombie enough. White Zombie was better, in my opinion. But it's not really my...
But Power Man 5000. No.
That was his brother.
If you line his first album, Hellbilly Deluxe, up against Power Man 5000, you will... Because he produced both of them. They follow the exact same formula, track per track.
Ooh, I saw Power Man 5000 live once.
Yeah. I'm sure that was something.
I don't remember any of it, honestly.
But anyway, Rob Zombie is making the Munsters.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, because it looks like what he tried to do was use his directorial style, which is terrible, and apply it to literally making a Munsters sitcom. Yeah. It looks that bad. Yeah. It has like his touches, his weird like day glow neon lighting that he likes to do sometimes, and his canted angles up against literally making a sitcom.
Yeah, like, I'm glad you said the thing about his angles, because I don't get it. Like, it's supposed to... Because I went to film school. Yeah. I get it. Like, you want to be weird, but, like, you don't use canted angles for anything except for, like, very specific types of shots, but it can't carry your movie. Like, in his lighting, like, it's like, I want to be Wes Anderson, but with less talent.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's a very talentless director. He clearly did a lot of work on his own music videos. Yeah. And somehow people have thought that actually makes him capable of doing
feature
movies. But it's clearly, after all this time, it's not. I can't remember a single one of his movies I've actually liked.
Me neither. And see, I'm not a big horror fan to begin with.
Yeah.
But you are.
I am.
And
I hate all his movies.
Yeah, like... I watched House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses. It was a bad Texas Chainsaw, like referential film.
And it wasn't
Halloweens
even
were bad.
Ugh, I love because Halloween is, if the listener doesn't know, you might know, but that's my favorite horror film.
It's a fantastic movie. It's so well directed.
And then the entire time I watched the new Halloween, I was like, what is this?
I feel like that with every Halloween movie after the first one, though.
First two. I like the second one enough, because the second one was like
trashy.
But it's like directly after the first one.
It is,
so.
but it's a trashy sequel. But they definitely fall off. Number 4 is kind of okay, but you can follow the path down, and then that path goes right into the ground with the Rob Zombie
H2O.
ones.
Oh,
yeah.
I was thinking H2O because I hated that one the most.
That one was bad too,
but
it was still better than number 8.
Yeah,
Resurrection. They're all bad.
Yeah,
it's a bad franchise. But Rob Zombie made them worse.
Yes. Did he do the new Nightmare on Elm Street too?
No.
Who did that one?
No.
Okay.
Someone else.
I didn't like those ones either.
No, Rob Zombie has basically done Halloween movies, the 2 of them that he did, or his own stuff. He also did one about like satanic witches that like bombed so hard. I don't even think you can find it on home video at this point.
No.
I forgot it existed until we started talking about this.
Yeah, actually I did too. I know because was that the one he put his his wife was in
His wife
both?
is in all of them.
Yeah.
Sherry Moon Zombie is in everything he does. I'm pretty sure she's playing Vampire Girl in the new Munsters too.
Oh, is she?
Probably.
I didn't
if
look
I
at the
had
cast
to guess.
list.
So, but yeah, no, it's like Rob Zombie, as we were saying, is a bad director. I don't know how much Universal spent on this new Munsters, but you have to assume they spent a decent budget.
Yeah.
And all he did was turn around and turn out something that looks like it was made on the set of Full House.
Yeah.
It's bad looking. I wasn't really thrilled to go see the movie to begin with. I would have watched it eventually when it was free on one of the streaming services. But now I'm just like, it's painful to even think about this movie existing.
The trailer.
Just the trailer. Yeah.
When I first watched the trailer, because you watched it a little bit ago, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was expecting to hear a laugh track throughout the entire thing. Like,
almost would have been better with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it never came.
It never came. Well, that's because no one's going to laugh at this awful movie.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Universal because I want a good Universal monster movie, but they just keep making the absolute wrong decisions. It's like they were presented like a good option and a bad option. It's like, hey, you want to have John Carpenter do this Munsters remake or Rob Zombie?
And they went with Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it's like, do you want Tom Cruise to be in the Mummy movie? Or
well, they probably didn't want John Carpenter to do a Munsters because he would have actually been scary.
Yeah.
And they're not looking for that.
No.
Clearly. Oh, that would have been fucking fantastic.
I just want a new John Carpenter movie.
John Carpenter's The Thing next door.
Munsters. I need to watch The Thing again, too.
Oh, it's such a good movie. But I'm not sure what you can do with the concept of the Munsters to actually have it be good, though. I mean, let's be honest. None of the Universal Monster crossover films were good.
No,
the best one of the set, the best was Werewolf Meets Frankenstein, or Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. That's what it was.
Yes,
that's the best of them. But even that one wasn't good. And they definitely went downhill from there.
Yeah.
And the Munsters feels like just that next level of downhill. Maybe the old TV show was slightly better than Von Helsing. That movie with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
This one definitely this new Munsters feels worse than Von Helsing. Like, looking at this new trailer alone, I'd rather go back and watch Von Helsing now.
Yeah, but at least it has Hugh Jackman in it.
Huge Ackman.
Huge Ackman. Jean Valjean is
Huge Ackman.
Huge Ackman. Oh, man. It's just such a bummer, though. Like, I don't know why. Like, I'm so bummed because I didn't have any personal stake in the Munsters. It's not a property I care about.
It indicates how little faith Universal has in their monster movies.
Which I do love their monster movies.
Yeah, well, it's because it's like they've been trying to get a new version of their monster movies going for some time now. They tried with Dracula Untold, and everyone hated that.
Gross.
They tried with The Mummy,
Gross.
and everyone hated that. They did finally get a good one in The Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah, that one was all right.
But they've done nothing with it since.
Don't forget, they did The Wolfman with
I forgot.
Benicio del Toro.
They also had The Wolfman in between, or before Dracula Untold. Yeah. And that was also bad.
That was so boring.
So boring.
It looked like, on paper, it looked like it should have been the best Wolfman movie ever.
The only person that stepped up for that film was Emily Blunt. And she was absolutely wasted in that movie.
Yeah.
Wasted.
Yeah. Oh, I got depressed. I did have a personal stake in that movie.
Yeah. So there were 3 monster movies they tried to do before this, and then only the 4th one that they did afterwards, Invisible Man, was any good. And again, haven't done anything with it since. That one was a fantastic movie. Great update of the whole idea. Really good, like, a thriller, like, but nothing since.
I just had the best idea for Universal.
So, okay.
So, they wanted to do a Universal monster universe.
The dark universe.
The dark universe.
Yes.
So, scrap everything else, start over, hire Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement to just run the entire thing, What We Do in the Shadows style.
Well, I'm still waiting for them to put out their werewolf movie.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
We're swearwolves.
Werewolves.
Although What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I mean,
still good.
They've got that show going. They don't need to do much of anything else. So,
I just want to, like, Munsters by Taika Waititi.
I think that would, like, him taking on that thing. But I mean, he's already done it. Basically, he's done all the monsters he needs to.
Yeah.
But like, there's. I think a big issue is Rob Zombie doesn't, one, he's a terrible director. We're just going to say it again. But he also doesn't understand characters or writing or comedy.
Plot.
Anything. And if you're going to do monsters and you're going to make them interesting, you need a good comedy writer. Someone that can actually write comedy and make it be funny.
Which is how the Addams Family was able to be revitalized in the 90s.
Yes.
Was because it was more comedy than slice of life.
Yeah. Like, they played up the antics higher, very broad, very over the top.
Yes.
It could have been camp in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
But then they got Raul Julia and Angelica Houston and
Christina Ricci
really good actors, so that they played it so straight that it didn't feel camp.
Yes.
This feels camp.
Yes.
The new Munsters feels 100% camp.
And I like old camp, and I like homages to camp.
Yeah.
But I feel like in 2022, there's no reason to have campy movies.
Yeah.
Because the technology that we have with our cell phones alone is already more technology than people used in the 30s, 40s, and 50s for a whole movie set. So, like, there's no reason to have accidentally campy movies anymore.
Like, I'm watching the trailer for this, and the sets are terrible. Set design's terrible. The direction's terrible. It's all terrible. But it does feel like a sitcom. And I'm sitting there going the whole time, like, this is bad. I'm never going to watch this. This is already awful. Why is this existing? And then the Hermit Munster goes over to a neighbor's house and scares her, and literally a slide whistle plays as she gets scared and falls over. I'm like, a slide whistle? Really? Really? Like, this is... Like, you know you're doing camp, but this isn't even funny camp. It's just bad.
Yeah, I really wish I was on a fly on the wall when that meeting happened. Like, if Rob Zombie was the one that spearheaded everything and convinced them to pay them, forgivable a little bit, but I don't know if he did or not. But just... Why give him money? It's like the same people who give M. Night Shyamalan money. Why at this point?
Yeah, because you're not wrong. M. Night Shyamalan, like, every time they're like, oh, his movie's almost good, but then he has to ruin it. He just did it again recently with Old.
Yeah.
Like, always has to ruin it.
Because it sucks because he has a lot of... he actually has talent.
He has talent. Yeah.
His visual effects are good. His directing is mostly good, but his story is just... It's like, we don't need a twist ending every time, bro. Like, we know that there's going to be a twist ending at this point.
Can you give us the twist of not having a twist for once?
Yeah, you're not Rod Sterling. Go home.
The Avatar movie, the twist was it's bad.
Oh, that movie.
But, I mean, it's like, watching the trailer for the Munsters, I'm not surprised by what I'm seeing, because if you've watched anything Rob Zombie has directed, it's on par. It's on par with his directorial style. Which should have indicated to Universal, maybe we shouldn't do this. Now, if they only gave him a few $100,000, like, go make the cheapest piece of shit movie you can.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Forgivable.
I mean, they're definitely making it rolling out like it's going to be a big budget movie, even though it looks ass.
That's the thing that I don't understand is, like, we watched the same trailer.
Yeah.
The way that it's being presented is that it's like... It's not a summer like a winter blockbuster. I think it's supposed to come out fall. I can't remember. September.
So, fall blockbuster.
Yeah.
After the superhero big festivities, but before the next big superhero block starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
in time for Halloween.
Yeah, like my AMC stock was doing better because of Maverick, and now this comes out. But, I don't know, Mike.
So, I mean, there's something to be said for maybe it is a low-budget movie, because it's not coming directly from Universal, despite it having Universal logo. It's Universal's 14400 indie line. So, definitely it's not going to be bigger budget. But still, like, I don't know. Can you do a good Munsters movie? Is it possible?
I don't know.
If we want to be fair to Rob Zombie, maybe it's impossible to do a good Munsters movie. Like, he's a talentless hack. There's no doubt about that. But, like, and all you fans out there that are Rob Zombie fans, I'm so sorry that you're fans of this talentless hack. But is it possible to do a good Munsters movie? Like, can you find the same depth of character with them, the way they are, that you could find for the Addams Family? Is that possible?
I honestly don't know enough about the Munsters to know, because
I mean, everything I've seen about them is it's basically a dumb 60s sitcom with Universal monsters filling the roles. Yeah. So you get, like, dumb sitcom jokes and then dumb puns based on the fact that they're monsters doing monster things in a dumb sitcom show.
Yeah, that's about all I remember, too. And I remember there's, like, a hot rod or something that the old vampire guy drives.
Grandpa or whatever. There's no depth to the concept.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you did a Munsters movie that actually was going to be good, you'd have to not do camp, obviously. So you no Rob Zombie. The talentless hack can't be involved. But you'd have to actually...
U-Bowl.
Huh?
U-Bowl can do it.
Wee ball, wee. No, you'd have to play it straight.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd have to, like, have the characters act straight up. No camp to their performance. You can have the Raul Julia kind of, like, scenery chewing, but it can't be camp.
No.
And that's, I think, the problem with the second Addams Family movie is it veered too close towards camp.
Yes.
Except for the scenes that took place at camp.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't like the second one's fine. Yeah, but not the first one.
You have to find the actual characters within the characters, and you actually have to let them be characters and have storylines.
Yes.
And then if you do humor out of it, it has to come naturally and not just forced sitcom hamminess. So I just don't know that with the way that the Munsters are constructed, you can really do that. Like, how do you find the character within a character when you have a sitcom dad played by Frankenstein's monster? That might be too many layers of camp already on the character. Man, there's probably humor to be had if you gave, like, Herman Munster an office job and then just had him go about his day.
Because I think the only way to do it is to have them not necessarily oblivious that they're monsters, but just like in every manage, just like normal stuff, and then it's like I have to go home to work, bat, and like no one says anything about it. It's just like, oh, did he just turn into a bat? Like, I don't. Like, the concept is so...
Yeah, like, I could see, like, Herman Munster going off to, like, work in an office. And then, like, he, like, without paying attention, he just, like, bashes his head through things. And, like, he gets he's told to, like, his boss comes in to give him a dressing down, and then he stands up, and he's, like, 3 feet taller, so the boss has to, like, crane his neck. But if you did it right, you could get some humor out of that.
Yeah, one more chance, and you're out of here.
Up towards the ceiling. The mom has to get a cat out of the tree for, like, one of the little kids. So she or the neighbor kids. Mm-hmm. So she turns into a bat to fly up to get it and bring the cat down, and they're all freaked out, and she acts like it's nothing. Maybe there's a little humor there, but those are, like, tiny kernels.
Yeah.
And then, like, how to build that into something that seems consistently funny.
See, I know I talk a lot about What We Do in the Shadows because I love it, but I feel like that's peak monster comedy. Like, and I don't see them being able to do anything on par with that without ripping it off almost completely. Like, the best way for that to work, for Munsters to work, would be kind of doing it like a Modern Family-esque.
I'll tell you the one I thought of. You have it be the Munsters, but the Munsters are side characters, and you do it almost like an X-Files, where it's 2 FBI agents investigating them the whole time. They're just going about their lives. Because you were talking about like how to do it and everything, and like fitting it into like a certain style and finding a perspective on it. And all I imagined was the episode where Fox has to investigate the vampires.
Yeah.
And so he like throws seeds on the ground. The kid's like, "Oh, come on!" And just starts like picking them up and counting them.
X-Files was good camp.
Yeah. Like, I think if you found the right perspective, like, I don't think you can do it from an insider's perspective. I think you maybe can do the Munsters from an outsider's perspective, where it's the people reacting to them.
Yeah, where it's like if they're FBI agents, it's like, what is she doing? What is she doing?
Yeah.
Oh, she's taking out the garbage run.
So, like, maybe you could, maybe there's some thread there, but it wouldn't be a straight Munsters movie.
No. Because there's just... And I know, like, I haven't watched it since I've been an adult.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, like, I remember just thinking it was just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I was like 10 or 6 or something. I don't know. But it didn't hold my attention, and I just thought it was dumb. And I still do.
And, I mean... If you want to credit Rob Zombie, what he did was he made a Munsters movie.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with it and why it looks terrible isn't just because he's a talentless hack, even though he is. But it's because he made a Munsters movie.
Yeah.
Like the show. And that's not what we need. That's
well,
not the movie that should be made.
And one thing that's kind of scary, too, is if you look at the YouTube comments, usually when a new trailer hits, especially one that shows up in September, there's going to be thousands and thousands of comments. Mm-hmm. There's only a few hundred, maybe. Mm-hmm. And all of them are like, this movie looks amazing. This looks exactly like a Munsters movie. Like, shot for shot.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we're not the target audience then.
No, well, and that's what I was about to say. I was like, because I was going through reading some of them, and it's like they got the house perfect. Everyone looks perfect. It's like, this is just a love letter to Rob Zombie. Or not to Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie's...
It's Rob Zombie's really poorly made love letter to the original show.
Which... Since the bar was so low with the original to begin with, like...
Yes, I mean, okay, let's be fair. Who among us, who's, like, normal movie watchers, really would want to see anything with the Munsters name slapped on it anyway? This is a movie made for the fan base.
Yeah.
And the fan base apparently seems to like it. Clearly they're idiots... But I guess we have to accept the fact that a talentless hack was the man for the job.
All 12 of those people are going to be super mad at us.
But they'll be fine, because it's going to be... At least one of them is also a Hawkman fan. He'll be super excited when Black Adam comes out.
Hey.
All 14 fans of you.
There's 10 of us. I think some of them died.
10.
COVID was rough on the Hawkman community.
Anyway.
But how much did you say... Universal pay? What was the budget?
Wikipedia didn't have a listing for me, so I couldn't tell.
That's scary.
Well, so it's an independent film, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely the Universal 1440 or whatever their independent line did it. So it's not a
that
big,
makes a lot more
budget.
sense. Then.
Yeah. It shows why it looks the way it does.
Yeah.
And it also shows that maybe Universal doesn't have nearly as much faith in Rob Zombie as we might credit them for.
Yeah.
Because they gave him a tiny budget to do
so. That sounds more like Rob Zombie's like, I want to make a Munsters movie.
Yeah.
And Universal's like, really?
Well, it's like Kevin Smith wanting to make Chasing Amy, and he's like, we need $3 million for this, so that we'll give you $230,000. He's like, deal.
and now it's like, I want to make Dogma, give me $600 million. How about $800 million? I just pulled those numbers out of my butt, by the way.
But so it's like, he wanted to make a Munsters movie, so probably they threw $2 or $3 million at him, and he had to do like a small budget thing. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think someone else with talent probably could have made that $3 million look better.
Yeah.
So.
And $3 million doesn't get you very far in the movie biz anymore. I mean,
all that Dayglow paint and neon, he probably wasted all the money right there.
And I was looking at the cast too, and I don't recognize any of them.
It's his wife and his friends.
Yeah.
This was clearly a home movie done to make the Munsters. It's just bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's like Adam Sandler logic. It's like, give me money, Netflix, and I'll make a comedy a year. It's not going to be good, but I get to go to vacation to Africa with all my friends.
And, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this shows up for a weekend at theaters before going direct to Peacock.
Yeah.
It's probable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, though.
No.
This looks awful. It looks like ass.
No.
Like, I will watch a lot for this website.
But this isn't one of them.
I am not watching another one of those talentless hacks movies. I'm sorry. I just can't. Sorry, Rob Zombie, but you're bad.
What surprises me is I don't think he does the theme or the music in his own movies, does he?
Not anymore, I don't think.
That's so weird to me.
Yeah. Are we done beating on Rob Zombie? Should we go back to, like, whipping Kevin Smith again in a future podcast?
Yeah, Clerks 3's coming out.
We'll discuss that next time. This has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I'm Josh Schaefer.
And I am not looking forward to the Munsters, but we will see you next time. That's the Adams Family.
Oh.